It's the final percent. The final percent.
All right. We're back with another episode of the Final Percent podcast. And today I think we're going to talk a little bit about confidence. I think it's something that everybody, have you heard the phrase, fake it until you make it? Well, unfortunately, I think people are faking a lot more than stuff. They're faking confidence. And the problem is if confidence is not backed up by competence, it is never, ever going to work out well for you. If you have confidence, and now I know a lot of people say, well, you got to walk in and you know, you've got to be that person, act as if. Now, there's something to be said about that, but there's just certain things where you have to be able to back up with your actions, back up with who you are. And so many people act as if, but quite frankly, guys, if I act as if and I walk out onto the field instead of Tom Brady, people are going to ask some questions when they see me throw the ball. If I walk in to, do the tip at the beginning of a basketball game, they're going to ask some questions on why I'm there after they see me jump. Now, of course, if I show up and I can jump 12 feet in the air, well, then I have competence in why I'm there. But I can have all the confidence in the world, and I think that people are so quick to perform instead of develop. We are kind of shooting ourselves in the foot because, unfortunately, we say, oh, I can do this, I can do that, I can do this, I can do that. And then if you can't, well, you don't necessarily always get that opportunity again. And so if we can start recognizing that we should start with confidence, because check this out, confidence leads kind of to nowhere. It could get you in a door, but unless you follow it up with competence, it doesn't matter. But here's the cool thing. If you reverse the order, if you have competence and you know you're good at something, you know you can step in and knock it out of the park, you know that you have done the work, you know that you have developed, you know that you have the experience level, you took the classes, you met the people, you did the things. Well, competence does in fact lead to confidence. And so the thing that I think is incredibly important in what I'm trying to say is, what do you lead with? Where does your confidence come from? Does your confidence come from competence? Or are you faking it until you make it? Which, unfortunately, you're actually building either a house of cards or you're getting ready to burn your house down. And because if you get the right opportunity at the wrong time, sometimes you know what, you can learn on the fly. But if it's big enough to change your life, usually you need to be that person that you say you are, or you need to be that person that they need you to be to take on that opportunity. And because we live in the land of fake it until you make it, and we live in the land of, oh, it's okay, I'm just going to say yes and figure it out later. I'm going to jump off the cliff and build a plane on the way down. I've tried that. And you know what? Sometimes, look, entrepreneurs are really resilient. Entrepreneurs are very resourceful. Entrepreneurs are very innovative. But if you think about it, if you're that entrepreneur's entrepreneur and you pride yourself on that. Now, I'm just going to be vulnerable with you guys for a second. I used to be that person until I realized what I was actually doing. What I was actually doing is I was giving myself a deadline, a non-negotiable deadline. A guy that I just heard speak recently called it, I gave myself a tattoo. I said, hey, this is going to happen, or I'm signing myself up for this. I'm doing this. It is what it is. We're going to see what happens. and you shout it to the world, you make a financial commitment, whatever it is, and then you have no choice but to accomplish the task that you set out to accomplish. And most problems and challenges for entrepreneurs actually come from no deadlines. And so if you can establish, hey, this is the deadline that I want, like one of the things that me and one of my business partners are doing, we're challenging ourselves enough to try to get debt-free by November. But check this out. What if it doesn't happen? What if we're 2 months late to the party? Well, we still went debt-free, houses, cars, everything, within a year. Oh, well, what if it takes you 2 years? Well, we still went debt-free within 2 years. Some people just stay in debt their whole life. And I think that it's important to start recognizing, why do you do certain things? And when I recognized that, I had that epiphany and I said, hey, I'm just going to create deadlines on my terms. I'm going to make sure the resources are there. I'm going to make sure that I am the person that I need to be to follow through and follow up on that deadline. And in a lot of ways, I'm still working on certain aspects of that. That's true, but we all are. But I think if you can start recognizing why certain things show up in your life, and instead of saying, oh, well, I have all the confidence in the world that I can do that, I can figure it out. Well, what if you're wrong? Now, I get there's two sides to every coin. What if you're right? I get it. But if you spend just even a little bit of time in preparation, what I call, I did a podcast a long time ago, and this is kind of a twist on that, and it is, everyone is so quick to perform. They want to stand on stage and they want to speak, or they want to sing, they want to perform, they want to say, hey, look at me, but they spent almost no time in development. They never developed the skill. They didn't develop the concepts. They didn't develop the stage presence. They didn't develop at all. And so, I mean, this happens all the time. And let's take a controversial topic like young pregnancy. They never developed into adults. They didn't develop into being able to lead their own life, let alone show another kid how to do it. And I do say kid very deliberately. They're a kid, they had a kid. Now you got two kids together. They're more like siblings than they are parent and child. They didn't spend enough time in development. And this is why I love that phrase, always be content with what you have, but never be content with who you are. And if you become more, check this out, you're going to have more. If you become more, you're going to be able to do more. If you do more, you're going to have more. Remember, having is a byproduct. But if we let competence lead us down the path of confidence, we are going to be high achievers. Unfortunately, if we show up and we say, hey, I can do it. Just put me in the game, coach, but you've never played the game. Unfortunately, more often than not, you're going to get your butt handed to you. You're going to waste time until at some point you wake up and you realize, look, I just got to do the work. I got to put my head down. It's time for me to make this thing happen. So that's the big takeaway today is confidence does not necessarily lead to competence. Now, if you are at least aware of the area and you have a passion about it and you've been in it for a while, yes, confidence can get you into some scenarios that can lead to experience and they can open doors, but you have to be able to be that person. And if you stretch too far, you end up breaking. And it's hard to put yourself back together sometimes. And, I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer. All I'm trying to say is ask yourself, where's my confidence coming from? Is my confidence is the foundation there of competency? Is the foundation there of me being competent around the activity in which I am trying to embark? Is competence even present? Have I ever even tried this? So just go down that road with me and ask yourself that. When you say, no, I'm confident I can do it, where is your confidence coming from? Is it because you're addicted to thinking that entrepreneurship is sexy? Well, check this out. Entrepreneur, it's not sexy. It's incredibly hard. You're scared most of the time. And you're hoping and praying and clawing and wishing. That's why they say the most important skill that you can be or you can have when you are in a entrepreneurship machine, building your business, whatever it is perseverance. When I stand on stage and people ask me, do you want to speak? Do you want to this? Do you want to that? What is your title? What do you want to, you CEO, founder of this, you did this, author, blah, blah. No, I say perseverance expert. Because that is my really my only secret sauce. I just don't quit. And I learn all the time. And I'm not scared of asking other people who've been there before how and why they did something. I'm not scared of having that conversation because, it's my job to compress decades into days for other people, but I am not too prideful to pray and wish and hope and ask for other people to do that for me. I want to be as competent as possible, and if I'm not competent in whatever I'm about to do, I'm going to borrow someone else's competency. So, where is your confidence coming from? Is it grounded in experience, training, knowledge, wisdom? Or is it grounded in, oh, my neighbor did it. I watched it on TV. Oh, I want to do that. Is it grounded in a lack of, you want significance, so you think you need to go do and be something that you're not, at least not yet? Make good decisions. If you make better decisions, you waste way less time. If you get scared and you try to make decisions too fast in certain areas, you end up starting and stopping too many times, and then you get gun shy and you never become the person that you could be. So I'm going to go ahead and end there. I think this is a good little, nugget. Just get in there, get out. But double down on your competency, your core competency. What is that? What is the thing that everybody just comes to you and asks your advice on? Remember the difference between advice and opinion. Advice is grounded in competency. Opinion is grounded in feelings. They get emotional. What does everyone come to you and say, hey, can I get your advice on something? That's part of your competency. Write that down. That's, if you didn't get that reference, that's from Van Wilder. He'd go through and say stuff. It was this guy who's in school for like 7 years. And every time he'd say a witty thing or something that was he'd write that down. So I was trying to be funny, but it was kind of a serious moment, so maybe the joke was lost. Figured I would explain myself. But where's your confidence coming from? It's really important to help you make better decisions. When you say, no, I'm very confident that this is going to happen. Is that appropriate? Is that appropriate? Do I have competency in this decision? This has been the Final Percent.